Hello and welcome to the Congo Hour. We want to thank you so much for watching. Wayna has tonight off, so I'm joined by my dad. So we're going to have an extended Sammy's Corner. I guess he'll give his input on both of our interviews this evening, and then I guess around 8:30 we'll have Sammy's Corner.
Sammy's Corner.
We were supposed to have a weigh-in, but guess what? Guess what, everybody? Guess who didn't bring the scale? Guess who forgot it? Guess who forgot the scale? We sat up here on live TV last week and said that you were gonna bring your scale, weigh in, and every week that you didn't lose at least 2 pounds, the first caller would get $50. And now you didn't even bring your scale.
Well, it's not that I'm afraid. You understand?
What is it? Please explain
It's-
it to the audience, please,
I will
because
explain to
they
them.
deserve an explanation.
I was so busy and concerned about the young man that life was taken in the wheelchair
Okay.
that my
We're gonna talk
mind
about
was
that.
on that. And when I got halfway here, and I had put the scale on the kitchen table because I'm quite proud of the fact that I've lost weight, and I'm in that process. I'm eating well. Starting Monday, I'll start my exercise program, and I'll probably lose more than 2 pounds a week. I don't want to lose too fast.
So I don't mean to cut you off. I do want to. I don't know if Mom is watching, but if she is, I would beg of you, Mom, if you can, look on that table and see if the scale is there. If not, it's probably hidden in the closet somewhere. But if it is, I want to ask you to please bring it to the studio, please. The viewing audience deserves the weigh-in, so we can start. I said, Mom, bring that scale. It's only a few minutes
I
away.
have nothing to lose,
I
my
got it, I
man.
got it, I got it.
Absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, we have 2 interviews tonight. We have the congregation from Macedonia Baptist Church. They're coming to talk about their church dedication. And then we have Miss Edwina Bell coming to talk about a conference that she is one of the speakers. It's called Don't Count Me Out. Is that it? That's right.
That's
right.
it.
Don't Count Me Out. So she's going to talk about that. And then towards the end of our show, we'll have our funeral announcements. We'll have some community news. And we're also going to talk about some of the things that are happening going on in Wilmington. Okay?
Sure.
All right. Okay, so welcome to the show, Miss Edwina.
I want to get involved in that weigh-in thing.
Okay.
You think I need to?
No, you're okay. You're fine.
So what brings you to the show?
Well, to God be the glory, of course. And, Wayne had called me a few months ago and was talking about the Don't Count Me Out Women's Conference that's coming up. And I remember attending one when Vicki Winan was there, and it was an awesome experience, and seeing all the women there and men also participating in the Don't Count Me Out Women's Conference. And I love the title, Don't Count Me Out.
Okay.
Because it demonstrates that no matter how far or how low anyone can go, through God's grace and mercy, nobody has to be counted out. And there's always a possibility to change, and I know that has happened for me 25 years ago when he delivered me from drug addiction, prostitution, stealing, lying, scheming, a whole gamut that goes with drug use and alcohol use, the rapes, the setups, the beat-ups, and all of that in the streets of Philadelphia. All my clean time, recovery time, has been here in the state of Delaware after receiving 9 months in recovery up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so Raina had been following me, and you all have, know my story.
Right.
I'm not shy, of course, and I just believe that when he delivers us, it's our job and obligation, and now my honor to be able to share that if he did it for me, he can do it for you too. So on November the 7th, and Alvin has the flyer out, and it's going to be at the Izan, her church. I believe that's her church.
Izan Fair.
Izan Fair, November the 7th. And there's a number of speakers, and I happen to be one of them.
All right.
And so I'm just delighted that she was able to, follow her spirit and said, I think she said she was watching TV one day and I was on, and she said, Edwina, that's my speaker, one of them anyway.
Okay.
So promoting and selling tickets, and you know me, I'm not shy, so I'm asking from the police chief to the mayor to all the homeless shelters, the recovery centers, only because people need to know that they don't have to be counted out when people think there's no way out.
Right.
So
And when is the conference again?
it's Saturday, November the 7th.
Okay.
Tickets are $40 a piece. A table of 10 is $360. There are vendor spaces. $150 includes 2 tickets.
Okay.
And we are claiming to have a sold out conference.
And do you have a number where people can contact you for tickets? Or
Well, they can contact me,
okay.
and my number is 302-690-6679. Again, 302-690-6679. And I just want to also say that if people cannot attend the conference, that they could, and I'm asking them to donate tickets to a recovery house or transitional house or homeless shelter, so that those who really need to hear the testimony of Don't Count Me Out can have an opportunity to come and sit and experience the Don't Count Me Out conference. So if you can't come, then purchase a ticket, it can be donated. But we know that the disease of addiction covers everybody's lives in one shape, form, or fashion. Can you relate to any of that?
I think you couldn't do anything better in life, really. There are so many people that are faced with what you said. You know, they want to get help. They need a lot of help. You know, they need a lot of motivation. My whole way in is based on knowing that maybe I could touch some folks that have the same problem that I have, being overweight, and it's unhealthy. It almost shuts off your life to, I mean, your longevity, and it will maybe put you in a nursing home where you're helpless instead of still being very active. So this weigh-in is just to touch some folks, and we having fun at the same time.
Yes, yes.
And I hope it does not cost me a dime. So I've worked very hard at it. I've changed my diet, and I've really lost a lot of weight. And I'm motivated, heavily motivated, where I didn't have this strong motivation in the last times I was doing it, because I didn't have the information that I have, and I wasn't as old. And I think that I want to have a productive life when I'm 99, and I think through what I'm doing I can do this, because some of it is reversible, and I want to reverse the muscles and the tissues and the body itself that deteriorates when you don't do what you're supposed to do.
And one of the things that we know with addiction, whether it be eating or smoking or drinking, sex or workaholics, is that the underlying factor is something that's within, and that we're trying to fill a void some way, shape, form, or fashion, and we find a satisfaction in external things that really cause us internal damage, and we really don't know it. And so even if we did the weigh-in, if we don't begin to address the need and the desire and the spiritual importance of losing weight, so that your temple, that the only one that you have, and my temple, can be used for the right purpose and to motivate other people as well.
As
You-
far, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
For as far as recovery, I know you're pretty well versed in different stages of recovery. Does Delaware have any long-term recovery facilities?
Well, I tell you this, because of the insurance factor, the answer is no.
Okay.
There are some places where the state, if you will, picks up some of the cost, and the taxpayers wind up paying for it.
Okay.
So it's really costing people to look for treatment in order to allow it to be available for other people. So you have some long-term treatment-related facilities, okay? But for actual rehabs and detoxes,
Right.
there's no more long-term. 30 days is out the window. If you go into detox, you may stay there 4 or 5 days. Rehabs is no longer 30 days. You may be there for, 10 to 15 days, and you're out, depending upon what your insurance pay. And those who pay out of pocket can stay as long as they want.
Okay.
But when you have related facilities like Sojourners or Salvation Army, other organizations who provide counseling and 12-step opportunities and other areas that need to be addressed, because when you treat a person in addiction, it's the whole person you have to treat.
Right.
Yes, the primary is the substance abuse and to get that under control, but you also have mental illness. You have other diseases that people come into recovery with that are affiliated with health and weight and things of that nature. So it's the holistic approach that has to take place. Right. And oftentimes we find that we have to go to neighboring states like Pennsylvania, Jersey, and Maryland to find additional treatment.
Do you think it's the state's obligation to provide that kind of treatment, that type of long-term treatment like other states do?
I tell you what, if the state's obligation is to make prisons, they can make treatment centers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they say it costs less to provide treatment for individuals than it does to house a prisoner. But the main thing is, I just believe that no one entity, whether it be government, the community, can eradicate drug addiction and abuse, because it's a money-making entity. You know what I mean? And so it boils down to how it affects a person's life and their immediate family, their community. So often, in my case and in many other cases, is that I didn't grow up wanting to be an alcoholic or drug addict or prostitute, you know what I mean? And so it was through the trials and tribulations of social drinking, social gatherings, flirting with the men, flirting with the women, whatever, that things began to, unknown to us, get out of hand, because we develop a habit, a habit of filling a void, and it also brings us some type of temporary euphoria that makes us believe it's going to last forever or it's for real. And then the crackdown or the come down is so devastating that it's unbearable. And so most often people don't know when they cross the line from social drinking to addictive drinking, or social using to addictive using. So I'm going to say, based on man's history, they've been trying to deal with men's drinking problems since man's been crushing grapes. And I found that, through the 12-step program, that we've had more success based on statistics, that those who really come off the street, those who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, we have had more people, particularly in the older days, that had success at staying sober than having these treatment facilities. Okay. Some people think that it's a Band-Aid approach. People think that these organizations provide just a way to make money and to really just kind of put a Band-Aid approach on situations, not really deal with the issues. But recovery, I believe, is an individual mindset that says, you know what, no matter what, if you have a made-up mind, rehab or no rehab, a made-up mind is a made-up mind. And for whatever reason, that the divine intervention takes place in our lives, it's actually when a person hits bottom after trying to address control and substitution and denial, that they come to the realization, like I did 25 years ago underneath a parked car, rapes and suicide, that I just can't do this no more. And I hollered out to a God that I didn't know, I heard about, and asked him to take me out this life or show me a better way. And because of that, my literal bottom was really underneath a parked car. So we as human beings, regardless of what adversities or challenges you're going through, is once you have exhausted all of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you realize that you're still not going anywhere, that divine intervention is available, and you call for that help, and the help is there.
Okay. So just before we go to break, just give us your phone number one more time
Okay.
in case people want to contact you.
Did Alvin put the flyer
I'll
on the
make sure he does.
screen?
I'm not sure. I'll make sure
Okay.
he does it during the break.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah, it's
Well,
up there now.
for the Don't Count Me Out Women's Conference by Wayna's World 2015, it's November the 7th at Ezon Fair Baptist Church in Southbridge. So please, I want it to be a sold-out crowd so that we could benefit those in the community and the nearby states to let them know you won't be counted out. If you come to this event and hear what's going on in the community, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. So call me if you want tickets to donate, be a vendor, 302-690-6679. Again, 302-690-6679. Or Facebook me on Edwina Bell, or email me at edwina.bell@yahoo.com. edwina.bell@yahoo.com.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
so
you.
y'all, so you got tickets, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I can count on a few tables for you to donate
tables.
to.
I'm in my own recovery right
Well, I support you too.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Macedonia Baptist Church. All right, welcome back to the Congo Hour. We hope that you enjoyed our first interview. And I think my mom is coming to the rescue. She says she is on her way with the scale. So thought you were going to get off easily, huh?
What makes you think that I would want to not display my success?
We'll see. We'll see. So tonight is going to be the official weigh-in.
I'll tell you what I'm
and
going to
then-
do.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be our deal.
Yes.
If I don't lose my 2 pounds, I will give whoever calls in $50.
Right.
Every time I make it, you have to give 25.
No. Stay focused. Stay focused.
You get
Stay
25.
focused. Stay
You're so
focused.
anxious for
Stay
me.
focused, okay?
Are you willing to? So you got a lot of confidence in me,
I have
right?
the utmost.
Okay. As long as I know that I've got you in the corner.
That's all you need. We'll see. We're gonna, just before our weigh-in, we have our second interview. Macedonia Church, Baptist Church is here to talk about their church dedication. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing us to be here. We
Oh, you're
truly
welcome.
appreciate it.
You're
Truly
welcome.
appreciate it.
You
It's our honor.
can introduce yourselves and just tell us what's been going on with Macedonia.
My name is Linda Wright, and from Macedonia Baptist Church.
I'm Deacon Jeff Epstein from Macedonia Baptist Church, and we're here to tell you about our upcoming dedication service of our new church located at 100 Bracken Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. We're very excited through the efforts of our dynamic pastor, Lawrence Wright, and our dynamic First Lady, Linda Wright. We were able to purchase our new home at 100 Bracken, and we are extremely excited. All of the members are extremely excited. Everyone at Macedonia is extremely excited about what's we are doing right now, the way the Lord has allowed us to be able to come from a classroom at the Powell Center, all the way through Stubbs School, through all the places we've been, down at Old Asbury Church, and now here we are purchasing our new home
Right.
at 100 Bracken in Wilmington, Delaware. So we're extremely excited, and as the book says, when you purchase a church or when you build a church, you should dedicate it back to God, and that's what the book says. And so that's what we're doing. We're having a dedication service to dedicate our new church back to God.
Okay.
Amen.
And just to give everyone an idea of where the church is, it's in Ellesmere, right?
It's just on the other side of Ellesmere, but
Okay.
yeah, it's considered, when you speak of it, it's like right at Ellesmere.
Right.
It's a Wilmington address, but just on the other side of Ellesmere, right behind the Dollar General that's
Right.
located over there on Kirkwood Highway.
Okay. All right. So what's it, like a block down, right?
Yes.
2 blocks. Is it 1
Yeah.
block down?
Yes.
Off of
One
Kirkwood
block,
Highway?
right.
Okay. All right. And what are your church? What time do you have Sunday service, and what do you have going on during the week?
Well, during the week, we do have, but I was going to tell you about this week of dedicatory
Let's
services.
talk about that first.
Yes,
Okay.
we have a week of services that began each night at 7 o'clock, and after each service, of course, we have a little collation. after each service. But on Monday, October 5th, we have Dr. Charles Amos and the St. Paul Church family will be with us.
Okay.
Then on Tuesday, October 6th, we have Bishop Aretha Morton and Tabernacle Baptist Church family will be with us. On Wednesday, Macedonia Baptist Church family guest preacher will be Reverend Aaron Moore of the Manor Christian Church. That's the night for Macedonia we do that ourselves, the dedication, that part.
Okay.
On Thursday, October 8th, Reverend Dr. Vincent Oliver and the New Calvary Baptist Church will be with us. On Friday, October 9th, Apostle Thomas Weeks and New Destiny Church family will be with us. And then, of course, it culminates on Saturday, October 10th, and Reverend Dr. Christopher Bullock and the Canaan Baptist Church will be with us at 1 p.m. Following that, we will have the laying of the cornerstone
Okay.
by the Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Delaware.
All right.
So we're excited.
I'm sure you
As
are.
Deacon Epstein said, we are so excited that God has allowed us to have this opportunity to own our own church.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to us.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
We're excited.
Do you have a contact number where people can call for more information?
Yes, you can call the church number. We
Okay.
have, it's of course 302-543-4600.
543-4600.
4600,
Okay.
yes.
And throughout the week, what time do the services start?
At 7 o'clock.
At 7,
7
okay.
o'clock each
Okay.
night. Except then on Saturday it's at
It's
1
1.
o'clock, right?
Okay.
But each night on the
Yeah, I know you must be
Yeah.
excited.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it is.
Where's Pastor?
He's recuperating.
Is he? Okay.
He's still- yeah, he's
He's been sick. He's home recuperating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give him a break.
Probably watching us right
All
now.
probably. I'm sure he is.
All right.
Yes.
We definitely want
You've
to
been on a long journey.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
10 years.
Yes. And then here's it, Dr. Deacon Epstein mentioned it. We started at the PAL Center, right?
Yeah.
From there we went to Stubbs School. From there we had J&H Salon. We had to have service at the J&H Henry Salon,
Okay.
Helen Henry Salon. Then East Lawn Human Services for our Bible classes. Went to Grace Baptist Church, Old Asbury, as he indicated, and now, as of July 5th, 2015, we marched into our permanent church,
That's right.
100 Bracken Avenue.
That is
Right.
wonderful.
Plenty of parking and everything.
Yes.
Parking
yes.
and everything.
Yes, yes.
Is
Yes.
that where you was born again?
That's right.
I tell you, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing. yeah.
Blessing.
Yes.
He found the Lord at that church.
Oh, did
Yeah,
he?
it was,
Yes.
used to be called First Baptist.
That building?
Mm-hmm.
The building we're in was Victory.
Victory, yeah.
Yes,
Victory Baptist.
Victory
Yeah,
Baptist.
I think I
Uh-huh.
was around 16 or 17 years old. And that's why I was actually saved in that church.
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
beautiful.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. Excellent.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So when I
Excellent.
came to visit that time, it brought back a lot of memories.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. Excellent. Yes.
I'll be sure to join you.
And the
for dedication
community
service.
has been very welcoming to us. Some of the
that's-
members there have been in the church
That's
visiting us,
Yes.
and we've had different.
Yes, we had car washes. We've had car washes the last couple of weeks, and we had the community come out and support us.
Okay.
So it's been it's been a very supportive
That's good.
venture by everyone. Yeah, everyone's enjoyed us being there, and it's been great.
It's been great.
And we had a wonderful youth day today, and we have our services just the Lord's just taking us off. We're going to higher and higher
Higher
heights.
heights.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, so once again, it starts on October 5th, right?
October
October
5th, yes,
5th.
through the 10th.
Through the 10th.
Uh-huh.
And just give us the address and the phone number one more time for Macedonia.
100 Bracken Avenue,
Okay.
Wilmington, Delaware, and the phone number.
Phone number is 302-543-4600, 4600.
All right.
Are we going to be there?
That's right. You going to be
Okay.
there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
And not just for the food either, right?
No food. No food.
You will eat well.
Because he'll be,
You will eat well.
You eat
Keep
well
your eye
each
on
night.
it.
he'll want me to eat so I can spend the 50
So it's
bucks.
$50.
But he's not willing to be a doubting Thomas. See, he's not willing to be a doubting Thomas. I want him to lose his little 25 bucks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and hopefully the scale is here. So we'll be right back with Sammy's Corner. All right. right, welcome back. The scale hasn't arrived yet, so for now somebody's coming in the door. Let me see who that is. I think the scale has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Is it here, Dave?
Yes, it is.
Okay, the scale is here, so we're gonna weigh in at the end of Sammy's corner. Neil.
Deal.
Okay, all right. So hope that you enjoyed our interview so far. Right now, we're going to have Sammy's corner. So what's on your mind?
Well, several things. Number one, I just want to shout out to all the people who supported LAPA.
Okay.
I think that what I need is a series to help people to understand the importance of LAPA.
That's true.
It is probably the doctor for our community in terms of communication. And we had a great crowd last night, but it could have been greater and should have been greater with people who will, let me say how I can say this, who will at some point receive benefits from it. And we all receive benefits every Sunday.
That's true.
If we knew how to take the advantage of the information that flows. And so we need to make our own information and make it fit our, community, because that's why we fought so hard. And we want to broaden it so that everybody is a part of the dance next year, because it celebrates the fact that something that we were going to lose was saved by a whole lot of people who went to city council and met, but it dissipated because once we got it,
Yeah,
they thought it wasn't necessary to continue.
I think people thought the victory was won.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have to continue it, and we have to find sponsors to put on other shows through the week, on the weekends, on Saturdays, to enhance our community. So I would hope that on our next time, we'll have to sell so many tickets, we'll have to go to Chase Center.
All right.
And because of its value, it is necessary that we have the community to support it even more.
Right. Okay. So you said you had a few things on your mind.
Yes. I want to send my condolences out to both families of the young man whose life was taken in Rodney Square, and the young man's family whose life was taken on Tulip Street.
All right.
And
Well, you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but I think as a city, I don't think that we did enough for the young man's life who was taken in Rodney Square. Like, if you just sit back and think about what he did, and like if he were anybody else, maybe if his background were different, if he looked different, if his surroundings were different, I think that we would have handled that in a different way. And I think that he should have had the best of the best for everything, just to sacrifice his life for a total stranger. We talk about it, we think about it, we wonder what we would do if we were in that situation, but he was in that situation and stepped up to the plate and saved the young lady's life and her child's life, who he had no idea who they were, and sacrificed his own life. I just think that we did a little bit, but I just think that we could have done so much more. I don't even know what so much more is, but I just think that if it were just a random businessman who happened to be working downtown, that worked at Comores, and he did that same thing, I think that things would have been handled differently.
I agree.
Right.
But it is because we don't know how to do it as a group of people that these kind of things happen. Because if it happened at Comores, as you say, the even the News Journal would have, and the businessmen, and everybody would have been up in arms if something like this happened to a gentleman of that stature.
Right.
And yet we allow, and I use the word allow, we allow things like that to happen without anybody stepping up to the plate and really showing the value of that man's life.
That's true. That's true. I think we really, I guess as a city, like I said, as a whole, I think we really missed the ball
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
one. I don't think it's too late either. I think that we really need to show his family how much we appreciate him, and just make that sacrifice that he made, just make that something that's known throughout this whole state.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that family needs to know that this city appreciates that deed, and that life was not taken in vain.
Right.
That that we appreciate it. Same as if we would do if a soldier
Exactly.
lost his life defending this country.
And not to make light of it, but like you said, if it were a soldier, or if it were even a police officer who did that same thing, I think that things would have happened differently. But he wasn't even paid. Like I don't want to compare the two, but I think if that were a police officer who did that same thing, versus just a normal citizen who's not paid to step in that, to put himself in between that situation. This was just a regular guy, but if it were a police officer, I think all the bells and whistles would have been rung.
Every policeman in the state,
Right.
in the states surrounding us, and maybe states across the country, would have a cavalcade of police
Everyone,
participation that would honor the fallen policeman.
Yeah. Right.
But as you say, this kind of, I guess lives are just different. And that's the best that we can say.
Right. But we have to. I think we just have to.
We
do a better
treat
job.
people
Right.
differently.
Right.
And we need to, I remember when the policeman was shot at, so, I didn't know that to be a fact, over on 24th Street.
Right.
But policemen came from everywhere, and the man wasn't even killed. But policemen, every kind of policeman in the state of Delaware showed up and tried to find that guy. That kind of effort is not made when some innocent kid is shot.
That's true.
Policemen show up, but not the way they try to find the person who shot at a policeman.
That's true.
And everyone deserves that kind of support.
That's very true. And then you mentioned a young man who was shot right off of Lancaster Avenue. in a
Yeah,
wheelchair.
over on Tulip
Right.
Street. Yeah, I don't have all the facts. I can't elaborate until I guess the facts are presented so that we can make comments based on facts. But what we have been exposed to, I just think that it was handled without the kind of professionalism that I would expect of our policemen in Wilmington.
Yeah, just from seeing the video, again, like you said, we don't have all the information, but from looking at the video, it says that the police were called there because someone tried to shoot himself, tried to kill himself. So it seems like they would have gone with an effort of trying to help him.
Yep.
But looking at the video, I didn't see that. Again, I wasn't there, so I don't know what may have happened before that video started running. But from the looks of the video, it didn't seem like they were there to try to help him and help him not to harm himself.
Yeah.
It seems like they were there to do him harm. And I guess that's the part that's very, very unsettling. And I guess like, we just had, like you said, we have to wait for the investigation to see, what comes out of it. But it just seemed like they were so aggressive with him. And I know he said he had a firearm, but even then, you knew he had a firearm, but he was trying to harm himself. He wasn't trying to harm anyone else. So it just seems like things could have been handled differently. I don't know. It just seems like police should be trained in that situation to help the person, not to do him harm the way it was done.
I think that, remember I talk about the inaccurate perception to the map of reality, and I think that on a day-to-day basis, we are faced with that, especially in the minority communities. And the reality, the inaccurate perception is that we are supposed to be protected in the minority communities, especially where low income might be, the same as the people in West Overhills.
Right.
And I don't think that happens.
No, I don't think so either.
And so, it is our responsibility to begin to bring that kind of professionalism in the minority and low income communities up to the level where they get that kind of respect. And so it is our duty, and it is the duty of people, whether you pay $100 or you pay 2 cents, to get the same kind of respect, to get the same kind of support that everybody gets.
Right.
And I know that there are negotiators on the police department that if a person seems to be wanting to harm himself, it is our community, our police department, our whatever, the fire department, whatever department it is to create a different mindset. And I think that is the big problem that we were faced with, and we are faced with on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And so until we realize that and begin to recruit, we begin to train, we begin to follow up these kind of issues, to be very honest and open,
Right.
and deal
That's
with
the key. I
the
think
issue.
we have to have the conversation. I think a lot of people are afraid to have the conversation, especially publicly. What really needs to happen, with our city and with the police department, the fire department, just government overall. We talk about it behind closed doors, but we really need to have the conversation in front of everyone, so we can just get to a better path and get to a better Wilmington. It doesn't do us any good for you and I to have this conversation at your house. Like, we need to have this conversation on Channel 28 so other people can have the conversation, in their households, so that we can get to a better place and get to that place like that you were just talking about, where people are just treated equally.
It's interesting that you and I know that both of us, if confronted by police, will get the ultimate in respect.
Right.
We are the mouth of people who are less chance. And so for us to talk is not witnessing that kind of behavior to us. It's witnessing that kind of behavior to others. I was told somehow that there was a policeman that was in one of the neighborhoods, and one of the people reached out the hand to shake the policeman's hand to say, thank you for policing our neighborhood, and the policeman refused to shake hands. It's that kind of identification that says it isn't friendly.
Right. And like you said, it's our duty as men. Set aside that I'm on city council. I think that does bring another level of responsibility to talk about it. But just as men, just to talk about it and not be afraid and not take our relationships that we may have with like the police department for granted. I think it's up to us to talk about what we see and what we hear about.
I think my inspiration, I'm inspired because I want Wilmington to be the finest city in America, in the world. And, you know, if you hide a sore, it's going to infect your whole body. But if you address it and get something done, it's going to probably heal and your whole body will become whole.
Right.
I think that we are too busy not facing up to the fact that we do have major problems. And those major problems are causing infections.
Right.
And those infections can hurt everything. And when we begin to take care of housing, jobs,
Education.
you know, all those kind of things, opportunities, then we'll have a better city. And people who are just aimless and just find anything to do, we'll begin to phase them out because they'll be challenged with major responsibilities.
Right.
So, you know, I guess I'm hoping that what we say will fall on the ears of community people. And they will also begin to step up.
Right.
Just like that young man in the park stepped up.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to do that to make Wilmington a better place to live.
That's true. All right, really good Sammy's Corner.
Well, I know you're excited about losing your $25, so let's get on the scale.
Let's see if I can, I'm going to take my mic off and bring the scale a little closer. Dave, how should we do this, Dave?
Well, I don't think it'll work good on this carpet. I want it to work good out there on the concrete.
We're going to take a really quick break, and we'll be right back with Sammy's first official weigh-in. All right, we are back with the first official weigh-in. I do have to say I'm really proud of you for even doing this publicly. So you said you're gonna lose 2 pounds a week, right? All right, so go ahead and step on it. Let's see what you weigh now. Let's see. We'll see what happens next Sunday. So right now, your weight is 254.4. 254.4. So next week you need to be 252.4, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our funeral announcements.